Millbee Looking, Millbee Looking, Millbee Looking. Hey, hello everybody, Millbee here, and welcome to my Millbee Looking at Phoning Home, Ion, Phoning Home. I'm actually doing this posthumously. This is a after comment. I recorded this bit, and then I decided I'm going to talk about the game afterwards because it'll let me focus more on what I want to say. Let me know how you feel about that. I've never really done this before. Alright, sorry about the sniffles. A little bit of a cold coming. This is a interesting little game, I want to say. I don't really know how I feel about it. Let me read the blurb on Steam. Phoning Home is an open-world game of exploration and survival set on a strange alien planet. It tells the story of two robots, Ion and Annie, and their life-defining journey. Now, if you'd like to see an extended hour-long gameplay of the beginning of the game of this, I'm also putting that up alongside of this. It's a thing I'm thinking about doing. I showed a more condensed sort of summary of the game, my thoughts and feelings after about 2 or 3 hours of gameplay, and also a longer hour-long video, which is just my initial first impressions of the game, and like for a full hour into the game. I felt that'd be like a cool comparison, so if you can choose what you want to watch, or you can watch both. So if you saw my first video, I explained some of the things, how I felt about the game. I'm just going to go into deeper things. This is made by Ion Lands, and it is out on the 7th of February. It'll already be out by the time you see this. So the developers sent me a code in my email, so that is why I'm playing this. I didn't pick it up. I didn't pay for it, so bear in mind. Phoning Home. What does it do right, and what annoys me about this game? Well, first of all, I really like the main character. He's cute. He's very cute. Later on. I give a little twirl of the guy, and he kind of reminds me of Wally. Both the characters remind me of Wally. And I really like the design of the little guy. He's very cute. He's very pretty looking. I really like that. The game itself is it literally is. It starts off very slow. It is a very slow start, and it isn't until about. I mean, it took me an hour to find Annie, but that was probably because I died a little bit. But yeah, you get a little bit into the game. I feel like it might take most people around about an hour to find the stuff. Also, it did take me for a while to find resources as well. But it's about you and this robot Annie exploring this big world. I think I'm saving the game here. And taking a look around. Here we go. Here's where you get to see the guy. Isn't he beautiful? I'm going to try and time these up together, so hopefully the sync will be alright. Yeah. What was I saying? I don't know. Anyway. The game has... I have issues with the game. The basic concept of the game is you go around collecting materials and you use those materials to make weapons and hull plating and keep yourself fueled up. The main things you've got to keep an eye on are... Oh, this is me trying to recreate a text bug I had in the game. The main issues I have with this is like you have fuel and you have energy and you have her hull plating. You got to keep those going. The blue is energy, the orange is fuel. You got to keep those filled up. Now, it slows the game down a lot. The game is slow in it. You see this right now. I picked this bit deliberately because this part of the game is just lots of empty space. And very, very slow movement. This game is very slow. You move. The environments here are huge. They're just big, giant environments, which is cool because it gives you this really nice sense of exploration and discovery, which is cool because you're on this planet and there's all these broken machines. There was clearly an alien civilization here before you, and you're trying to find out what happened to them and what's going on and what's happening around you. And I really like that sense. But the environments themselves are these just gigantic areas, and for the most part, as you saw coming down the mountain, there's like nothing there. They're fairly sparse, and you move so slow, and it takes you such a long time to get across these places that it gets really boring very fast. So I don't know if you get faster movement later on, but at least for the first 2 hours of the game, I found it very slow going. Very slow going. Autosave could be way more frequent in this game. I die a lot afterwards. I save a lot in this game because I realize the autosave does not go off very often. That could just be me. I'm getting used to autosaves in games. I found myself dying and having to replay a large chunk of stuff now and then. And dying in ways I wouldn't have expected from fall damage, which is something this game does really weirdly. Your partner, Annie, takes fall damage at weird heights. Going through portals. If you put the portal slightly too high, then you can because you can place portals on metallic objects, and you'll see that later as well. If you put the portal slightly too high, then she just takes full damage. And it's really hard because sometimes you're shooting portals at these things that are really far away, and you can't really tell how far off the ground you're shooting. So you go through and she takes full damage. One time she died doing it, and I got sent back a whole big chunk because I hadn't saved, because I thought the autosave might have kicked in, but it hadn't, and it was really, really annoying. This is probably a cool little alien environment, even though it does feel a little bit empty and dull. It's not graphically, I don't think it's terrible. I think it could do better, but I don't think it's terrible. Annie herself, she's like she's like the follower. She'll follow you around the whole game. She kind of needs you to help her out. She's not designed for exploration. She has this what was it called? What did I write down? Corrosion mechanic, where you have to keep corrosion low by filling up her meter, which is just another meter you've got to balance. You've got to balance your energy meter and your fuel meter, and then her corrosion meter. And you can see at this point, my energy gets so low that I can no longer run. And then the game gets real slow. And here I can't find any of the stuff I need for the energy, so I'm kind of screwed at this point. I have to wander all the way back there if I wanted to find any of it, and I have to go back into the forest to find the stuff I needed. And if you see my extended play, my hour-long play at the start of the game, you'll see the forest itself. The forest is a lot more fun than this, but again, it is this huge area that you have to slowly walk across and find all these all the little materials. The materials themselves, you can see, are placed up top in the compass. That is not always the case. I think I'm doing something here. I'm probably exasperated at the size of what I can see I have to traverse now. Sorry. The materials themselves, you have to find the material first for it to pop up on the compass. And at the start of the game, that can be really annoying when you're looking for certain materials and you don't know what they look like. So you're just searching around everywhere, hoping to find whatever it is you're supposed to be looking for. Once you find them, it's way easier. It's just that first time you need to find a material and you don't know what it looks like, that can be very frustrating. And all these things, they all slow the game down a lot. You need to have new materials. You need to constantly get certain materials to keep your fuel up, to keep your energy up, and you find your energy low and you wander off and you get more energy and you carry on, and it just makes the game go at so much slower pace that I really wish it didn't. I'm not the biggest survival game kind of guy, so maybe that's just my qualm. But I felt like it was a really unnecessary way to slow the game down a lot, and it made me want to turn it off a lot. And you don't really want that, do you? It's a strange mix of puzzle and survival that I've not really seen before. I don't really know. I don't know of too many. I think this is me trying to get this stupid material from the wall. Oh god, I gotta go into this. Your maneuverability. You move slow, okay. But this is the crafting interface, by the way. It's very simple. You just find the information. You find the items, and the top there's these arrows, and you just click on those and you craft. The way you jump in this with these boosters, it feels very clunky. It doesn't. It's not satisfying. It feels kind of weird and awkward in a game where you need to be moving around a lot, like jumping up ledges and boosting up ledges. I feel the boost runs out very fast, and it's awkward to maneuver. And you tend to get sort of stuck on ledges a lot, slowly going up them. Oh, sorry, I bashed the mic then. And that often led to some real frustrating moments for me that I was like, oh, I really wish the maneuverability in this game was a a bit better, you know? Oh boy. I got a lot of criticisms about this game, and I'm sorry. It's cute. I like the idea behind it. But I feel like it could be improved a lot. I really don't get why they went with such big empty environments. This bit was pretty cool. There are some cool moments in the game. This bit where I was like, what is happening? Why is it shaking? And then these gigantic sandbugs come out. These sandbugs turn out to be the bane of my life now for the rest of the video. I may end up cutting a bit here to some bit in the forest. At first I'm confused where they're coming from. Then eventually I find out. She says afterwards, oh, these holes are weird. You shouldn't go near them. So that was nice for her to tell me afterwards. You can't seem to kill these. The beams in this mostly seem to be saved for these weird little cloud light bug things. You saw them earlier in the video. They're these like orange glowing flies that seem to be one of the main enemies that follow you around. You can shoot them, and after a while they'll just fly up into the sky. Or you can distract them with light balls of light, a source of light and stuff like that. Those work equally well with each other. I think that was all the things I wanted to cover. Oh, I really like the environmental sounds, especially in the forest. I really like the weather. Rain coming down and stuff like that. All the environments, you have to keep Annie indoors when that's happening. And then you can keep... It's nice. You can keep exploring while she's indoors. And then when you're done, you just press F. Because you can see the F and C. F is follow. You can turn that on and off. And C is combat. You can turn that off whether or not you want her to do combat and stuff like that. So that's a very... Oh, my friend's messaging me. So that's a nice little addition. I was worried at first. I was like, do I have to wait for her? Do I have to not go very far when the storm's on? At this point, it takes me a while, but eventually, I think after a death or two, I realize you can use portals to get across here. They're not... It doesn't help me too much because I end up dying anyway. At this point, I'm like, oh my god, can I just keep running past all these bugs? Keep coming out the ground because there's just holes everywhere. I think what you're supposed to do is follow those markers, but I do follow them later and I still meet bug after bug after bug. This bit's weird. We both die and the game doesn't seem to acknowledge it. So I kind of shake the camera a bit in anger and I think eventually I reload. It's kind of weird. Yeah, I mentioned earlier the weird little text bug of the library. Sometimes when with L, you go to the library, it's got all these your missions and information. Sometimes clicking on the boxes, the text just wouldn't pop up, and I'd have to click on it loads, and eventually I'd have to click somewhere else and click back, or exit the library and come back. So that was kind of annoying. The game itself runs fine. It's a really smooth, very smooth running game. I didn't have any issues. CPU stayed pretty low. It wasn't like heating out my CPU, so that was quite nice. I'm used to a lot of indie games being poorly optimized in that way, and you just kind of find your PC's like, I can't handle this. Annie's, did I mention Annie's pathing? It can be weird at times. There were times where she just wouldn't go down these tiny ledges, and you have to use this little electric grapple thing to pull her down. That it can be weird, like you look back and you think she's with you and it turns out she stopped, and it's because there was this tiny little ledge that she wouldn't go down but you could go down, and that was kind of weird. So I was kind of worried about that. It left me thinking maybe I should go back and pick her up a couple times and stuff like that. And yeah, I think honestly, if the game didn't have the power and fuel upkeep, I might be interested in keep playing it. But at this point where I am now, I'd have to backtrack all this way to get some power and fuel. I mean, yeah, okay, you could say you could have just sorted it out before you came here. But, okay, that's my bad. But at this point, I don't want to go back there anymore because it's going to take me such a goddamn long time to walk back there because I'm so stupidly slow that I really feel like the fuel and energy mechanic kind of hold the game back a bit in my eyes. It's just a personal thing, I guess, more. Just not wanting to have to deal with all that stuff. I think I said I like the way the story's told. You seem to be these people who mechanize yourselves, because she says when we mechanized ourselves, we lost our humanity. So I guess at some point you were human. So the story is told to you sort of slowly by Annie and some of the robots and bits and bobs and things they mention and stuff like that. So that kind of kept me going. If you see my longer gameplay, and she's dead at this point. I didn't realize she could die and then you could keep going. I was like, screw that. I don't want to have to go back and deal with her. I'll just shake the camera in anger. Oh god. Overall, honestly, I'm not going to give this game like anything out of a 10 or a number out of anything, because I find that stuff is pointless. It just distracts people from everything else you've said in the video. I would say this game is... Why is my PS4 keeps turning itself back on, and I don't know why. This game is probably something I wouldn't play again. This is not a game I plan to pick up again. I'm probably going to remove it from my Steam thing after this, and I'll probably never pick it up. I found myself very bored of it after this time. I started doing this. I would have played this game for like another hour or so. I wanted to give it 2-3 hours, so I could give a decent summary of it. I wrote notes down. Obviously not enough, but I wrote some notes down to give myself some reminders while I was talking about it. But overall, I just, yeah, I don't really see myself coming back to it. It didn't really hold me. By the end of this, I was like, I really just need to get this out of the way because I'm bored of playing this now. I'm really bored of just wandering these open areas with nothing to see. Here you see the portal mechanic. It can only be active. Is that cat sitting on like a controller or something? What's going on? They can only be activated by shooting them at metallic objects and stuff like that. That's how you turn on the portals. So I figured what I do here is I jump between these portals, and that would be how I'd get across to the skeleton, which is where I wanted to get to. Unfortunately, the portals turned out to end up being right next to holes later on, and I ended up dying. So that sucked. That sucked big time. But hey, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do, right? Anyway, I think that's it from me. The video's about to end pretty soon anyway. I've said all I wanted to say. So overall, nice little game by an indie studio. Not personally my taste, I think. Very slow. Might be more up your alley. It's currently available for £13.49. Or £15 without the sale on. The soundtrack is really nice, I will say that. I do like the soundtrack, I think it's very nice and lovely. But it does feel, at times it feels slightly unpolished. Especially times like this. At this point I was done. I was so over it. Anyway, thanks for listening everybody, hope you enjoyed it. This episode of Phone Home. Oh god, the video's ended. Well, hopefully I'll stick something on the end of this. Hope you enjoyed this video, and let me know what you thought about the post commentary on my mini review. Anyway, thanks for watching. Phone Home. Probably not. I probably wouldn't recommend it myself, but oh, the voiceovers are good as well. I totally forgot about that. I really forgot about that. The voiceovers, at first I wasn't sure. The voiceovers are actually pretty decent. But yeah, I probably wouldn't recommend it too much. At least not for someone who likes the same kind of games I do. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to leave a likey poos if you want. You don't have to. You can leave a dislikey poos as well. I don't really care. And don't forget, if you want to see an extended gameplay at the beginning of the first hour, you can check out my other video. They should be out like the same time of this one. I'm probably going to bring them out within like 5-10 minutes of each other. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye-bye.